Hello and welcome to Wildcat Game Day Preview. I'm Madeleine Stern alongside Adam Beck. Today we'll be looking at the Northwestern Wildcats as they take on the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. at Kinnick Stadium. We're going to start tonight's show by going back in time to last weekend when the Cats traveled to College Park to play the Maryland Terrapins. The Cats went into halftime with a 7-point lead. Unfortunately, they weren't able to maintain this lead. They threw 2 interceptions in the second half, and there was a lot of lack of defensive coverage, that is. And Maryland went away with the win. However, this game was a lot closer than games prior. When we're looking at when Northwestern played Wisconsin, they lost 42-7. Given this game was so close, Adam, what can Northwestern take away from College Park and bring to Iowa?
So I think it comes down to a couple things offensively and a couple things defensively. Number one, offensively, Evan Hull is the guy, right? He really showed up last week, 20 carries, 119 yards, got back to the Evan Hull type of play that we've expected from him. And in games where he's playing well, Northwestern is in those games. And when games where he kind of isn't there, well, games like Wisconsin happen where Northwestern loses by 35. And then you have Brendan Sullivan, too. I really liked how he played last week. If you look at the stat line, it wasn't the prettiest, right? 18 for 24, 143 yards, a touchdown and interception. But he added 50-plus yards on the ground and also added a rushing touchdown, too, on the QB sneak to set up a Northwestern score. So I liked what I saw from him. I love his athleticism, love his ability to use his legs to get outside the pocket, something really important in this Northwestern offense, just finding different ways to push the ball downfield. I really liked what I saw from Brendan Sullivan. Defensively, though, it's not as pretty. You come to a Maryland team on Saturday that you knew Talia Tungabailoa, the Maryland starter, was dealing with injuries, battling injury, and because of that, they weren't going to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. They were going to run the ball, and that's exactly what they did. They ran for over 250 yards on the ground, including a 75-yard game-clinching touchdown by Roman Henby late in the fourth quarter that just put Northwestern away. Really unfortunate there after a really good, solid Northwestern effort. And also mix in bad tackling. Northwestern's really going to have to pick up the pace defensively as they face an Iowa team that, although they've struggled offensively this year, they can kind of run the ball. They've got a running back tandem of LaShawn Williams and Caleb Johnson combined for 5 touchdowns so far on the season. Those are the guys to watch out for Iowa, but as long as Northwestern can, stop the run, I think that they'll be okay.
So Evan Hull, Brendan Sullivan, and that Wildcat defense, we'll have our eyes on them this weekend. Now we're going to look to Northwestern and Iowa. Both teams are 1-3 in the conference, looking for a win. Adam, what is each team going to have to do? What is going to be the determining factor to come out on top?
It comes down to the quarterback battle. It's really that simple. Football comes down to the quarterback position a lot of the time, but it comes down to who has the ball most of the time, which means who's not giving it away. Brendan Sullivan will probably get the start for the Northwestern team on Saturday. Obviously, Ryan Helinski has been the starter for most of the year, but after playing badly in that Wisconsin game, getting banged up, Brendan Sullivan took over, got the job done at times against Maryland, especially in the first half. Looked really good, as you pointed to earlier. They had the lead going to halftime, and at the end of the day, he kept Northwestern in the game, and that's what's important. As long as Northwestern's in the game, they've got a chance to win. And as long as they can play some good defense, they'll be fine. But I really like what I saw from Brendan Sullivan last week. And then you flip the side to Iowa, and you've got a quarterback controversy brewing in Iowa City. Spencer Petras, the guy who's been the starter all year for this Iowa Hawkeyes team, was pretty bad on Saturday against Ohio State. 3 turnovers in the first half, got benched. Alex Padilla came into the second half and didn't play much better. He had 2 turnovers, including a fumble on the first play of the second half. Iowa ended up losing 54-10 against Ohio State. So this quarterback position is a mess right now. And on Monday, I think, or maybe earlier in this week, Iowa came out with their official depth chart, and the quarterback 1 was listed as Spencer Petras or Alex Padilla. So they don't know who they're playing yet. It's definitely a mess. But at the end of the day, whoever takes care of the ball better and whoever limits the sloppy play, that's going to be the team that ends up winning.
It's all up in the air. And with that, I'm going to ask you, we have time for one more question. What is your score prediction?
I know that the Cats are 1-6. And Iowa's 3-4, but I'm going to take Northwestern in this one. I think that they're going to get the win 17-14 against this Iowa team. Iowa's had a really bad offensive season so far. They're only averaging 14 points per game. They haven't even scored 100 points on the year yet. They're not doing a good job moving the football down the field. I know that Northwestern has had troubles defensively, especially stopping the run, but as long as Brendan Sullivan can take care of the football and as long as Evan Hull can be involved in this offense, I think Northwestern can claw out a very close win.
All right, Adam has Northwestern. I'm actually going to take Iowa on this one. I'm predicting it'll be 14-10 with Iowa taking the win. I don't think Northwestern's going to be able to do much against that Iowa defense, and it'll be a low-scoring game. With that being said, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Madeleine Stern, and this is Adam Beck. Thank you so much for watching Wildcat Game Day Preview.
I think that one was better.
I think
that was
the first
better.
one